22-year-old Capel native is missing in West Texas. Zuzu Verk is a college student, and now her family, as you might imagine, is worried about her safety.
North Texas is trying to identify a body that was found buried in West Texas. It may be that of a missing college student from Killer.
Do you know what happened to Zuzu?
I do not.
Did you have anything to do with her disappearance?
I did not.
You are not an accomplice to a crime?
No.
Is Zuzu still alive?
I don't know.
Today, we're saddling up and heading deep into the heart of Texas, where love, lies, and a missing Mazda Miata weave a tale as twisted as a rattlesnake's dance. Picture this: Alpine, a charming college town nestled in the breathtaking Big Bend region. It's the kind of place where the stars shine brighter than a rhinestone cowboy's belt buckle, the sunsets paint the sky with hues more vibrant than a fiesta dress, and the pace of life is slower than a tortoise on tranquilizers. But in 2016, this idyllic haven was shaken to its core by the disappearance of Zuzu Verk, a vivacious young student with a smile as radiant as the Texas sun and a spirit as free as the wind sweeping across the desert plains. Zuzu was the kind of girl who lit up a room with her infectious laughter and her passion for life. She loved hiking, exploring the great outdoors, and spending time with her beloved dog. But behind the scenes, a storm was brewing in her relationship with her on-again, off-again boyfriend, Robert Fabian. And Fabian, a charmer with a smile that could melt even the coldest heart, seemed like the perfect catch on the surface. But beneath that charming facade lurked a darkness that would soon cast a long shadow over Zuzu's life. Their relationship was a tumultuous roller coaster marked by Fabian's possessiveness, controlling behavior, and a simmering jealousy that threatened to boil over at any moment. Zuzu had even confided in her friends about her plans to transfer to another university, partly to escape Fabian's suffocating grip. On the fateful night of October 11th, 2016, Zuzu headed to Fabian's apartment for what was supposed to be a romantic dinner. Little did she know, it would be her last supper. The stage was set for a tragedy. The ingredients for a heart-wrenching mystery were in place, and the clock was ticking towards a devastating climax. When Zuzu failed to show up for classes or answer her phone the next day, her friends and family knew something was terribly wrong. The alarm bells were ringing louder than a mariachi band at a quinceañera, and the search for Zuzu began.
22-year-old Capel native is missing in West Texas. Zuzu Verk is a college student, and now her family, as you might imagine, is worried about her safety.
Zuzu Verk is her name, as you mentioned. She's 22 years of age. She initially attended UNT in Denton 3 years ago. She did not show up for classes at Sul Ross College in Alpine on Wednesday. Since then, students and residents in Alpine have formed search teams. Police have apparently interviewed friends, including, we're told, at least one former boyfriend. Her father, who lives here in Capel, is in Alpine now, trying to assist police.
She's brilliant. She's beautiful. She's missing.
Fabian, the seemingly distraught boyfriend, initially played his part to perfection. He reported Zuzu missing, even providing the police with a suspiciously detailed description of her outfit, right down to the brand of her underwear. It was almost as if he'd memorized her wardrobe, or perhaps had a more sinister reason for knowing it so well. He also mentioned a fabricated argument about his ex-girlfriend as the reason for Zuzu leaving his apartment upset. But Fabian's downstairs neighbor, John Franco, had a front-row seat to the drama unfolding above. He testified to hearing a heated argument between the couple, followed by some rather unconventional sounds emanating from Fabian's bedroom. Let's just say it sounded less like a passionate embrace and more like a scene from a low-budget horror flick. Later that night, Franco heard a loud thump and saw Fabian driving away in his car in the wee hours of the morning, while Zuzu's car remained parked outside. The plot thickened further when the police searched Fabian's apartment. The mattress was missing, and the laundry was suspiciously bleach-soaked. Fabian's explanation. He was simply doing some impromptu fall cleaning. Yeah, right. It's like he was trying to scrub Zuzu's existence from his life, one chlorine molecule at a time. The stench of suspicion was getting stronger than a plate of Tex-Mex chili. Enter Chris Estrada, Fabian's partner in crime, or at least his partner in keeping secrets. Chris initially stuck to the bros before hoes code.
When the cops secured a search warrant for your vehicle, what were they looking for?
They took a strip from the carpet. They took the trunk mat. They left everything else in there. And then I got it back a week later.
Yeah, the results came back inconclusive.
I followed instructions. I just didn't do a good enough job.
What would be a good enough job?
Not being inconclusive.
I want to make it very clear. You, Chris Estrada, do you know what happened to Zuzu?
I do not.
Did you have anything to do with her disappearance?
I did not.
You are not an accomplice to a crime.
No.
Is Zuzu still alive?
I don't know.
But his loyalty had a breaking point. He eventually cracked under pressure, revealing that Fabian had confessed to killing Zuzu during a heated altercation that escalated into him choking her. Apparently, Fabian's anger management skills were about as effective as a screen door on a submarine. Fabian even asked Chris to help him move Zuzu's body, a request Chris refused. But the story doesn't end there. Fabian's brother-in-law, James Carrillo, also found himself entangled in the web of deceit. He initially lied to the police, claiming he knew nothing about Fabian's whereabouts on the night of Zuzu's disappearance. But the truth, like a stubborn Texas steer, eventually came out. Carrillo admitted to lending Fabian his truck that night, and then, in a move that would make even the most seasoned detective facepalm, vacuuming the interior, potentially destroying crucial evidence. Hair samples later found in the vacuum were a match to Zuzu or a maternal relative. The search for Zuzu became a Texas-sized manhunt, with everyone from ranchers to rodeo clowns joining the cause. But months turned into an agonizing wait, and hope began to fade like a desert. Then, in a plot twist that would make even the most seasoned telenovela writer gasp, a Border Patrol agent stumbled upon a shallow grave in a remote area. Inside, wrapped in drumroll please plastic drop cloths, was Zuzu's skeletal remains. The discovery sent shockwaves through the community, and the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place.
North Texas is trying to identify a body that was found buried in West Texas. It may be that of a missing college student from Killer.
And Fox 4's Salvo Garza is live in Fort Worth to explain.
Yeah, and we expect to learn in a couple of days from forensic experts here at UNT Health Science Center in Fort Worth whether the remains found in Alpine are those of missing student Zuzu Verk. Now, her family is bracing for the bad news, though. They attended a candlelight vigil this weekend and thanked friends and supporters and the Alpine community for all of their support over the past few months. Their nightmare began in October when their daughter Zuzu Verk disappeared after a date with her boyfriend, 26-year-old Robert Fabian. He denied any involvement but stopped cooperating with police. And then last Friday, human remains were found in a shallow grave northwest of the city. On Saturday, police arrested him for tampering with evidence by concealing a body. His family standing by him.
I just wanted to make that clear, that we weren't concealing, hiding, anything. This is my children's home, first of all, and we keep it safe for them. My brother is innocent, and we are innocent.
In a statement, the Verk family said in part they await the likely news that their worst fears have been realized, and as we carry on, we look forward to the day we witness justice delivered for Zuzu.
The remains are found northwest of Alpine. An autopsy confirms the remains are of Verk. One day later, Robert Fabian, Verk's boyfriend at the time of the disappearance, is arrested, along with friend Chris Estrada a few days later. Both men at the time were charged with tampering of evidence and the concealing of a human corpse in the case of
the trial was a media circus, with the nation captivated by the tragic story of Zuzu Verk. Fabian's defense team tried every trick in the book, suggesting Zuzu had run off with a secret lover or been abducted by extraterrestrials. But the jury wasn't buying it. The evidence against Fabian was as solid as a Texas Longhorn's horns. His inconsistent statements, suspicious behavior, the testimony of his friends and family, and the physical evidence all pointed to his guilt. He was sentenced to life in prison.
Life in prison and 20 years for tampering with evidence. That was the verdict from the jury after several hours of deliberations Wednesday in the trial of Robert Fabian. It was also the sentence the prosecution was looking for. In opening statements, the only witness brought forth for the prosecution was Glenn Verk, Zuzu's father. He discussed Zuzu's life and how he and his family coped with her disappearance and the eventual discovery of her body, telling the jury, quote, "The world has lost a very special person, and I am so proud of who she was." The defense's hopes were to have Fabian convicted for murder under the influence of sudden passion, with a sentence maximum of 20 years. They brought 3 witnesses to the stand, friends of Fabian, and finally Fabian's mother, who told the jury Fabian was, quote, "a good man and a good human being." After closing arguments, the jury finally decided on Fabian's fate, life in prison. An emotional day for the Verks while they declined to speak on camera. Brother Miles gave the victim's statement to close out the day, telling Robert, quote, "God is not going to forgive you, and the face I never want you to forget is the face of my sister."
Justice was served, but the bittersweet taste of closure couldn't erase the pain of Zuzu's loss. The case of Zuzu Verk is a stark reminder that even in the most picturesque corners of the world, darkness can lurk. It's a cautionary tale about the dangers of possessiveness and control in relationships, and the devastating consequences that can arise when love turns toxic. It also highlights the importance of community and the unwavering pursuit of justice, even when the odds seem insurmountable. Zuzu's light was extinguished far too soon, but her story lives on as a beacon of hope, reminding us all to cherish the precious gift of life and to stand up against injustice. It's a testament to the strength of a community that rallied together in the face of tragedy, and a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can shine through. That's a wrap on this week's episode, folks. Thanks for saddling up with us on True Crime Legacy. We hope you enjoyed this journey into the heart of a Texas mystery filled with twists, turns, and a few chuckles along the way. Remember, keep your loved ones close, your secrets buried deep, and your sense of humor even deeper. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, every chapter has an ending, but the story never truly dies.